here we go again. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great day. Glad to be back. I have my laptop here next to me. I'm really excited, really happy. Obviously, I hope it shows and you guys can tell. Either way, we're going to get started because there was a channeling that came in, and I believe there were a couple of beings that do this channeling, and they want to be of service, right, to others. I think in my last video I mentioned um, just how you can evolve if you share, right, and care for others in a very specific way, and you do certain things to make yourself feel lighter, right? And obviously, we don't want to push the envelope on talking about subjects and saying things to people that maybe they might feel uncomfortable. But in this medium, in my channel, I'm just going to let this all go. It's all free and clear. You guys are being very successful. The channeling has, oh boy, I wonder if I saved it or not. Doesn't this have some kind of autosave feature? I think I did. Ah, here it is. Oh, thank goodness. Yep. Just, off the cuff. You know how I do it. All right. So, all right, let's just get right to it. So, because you wanted to have a communication, you wanted to be, um, um, you want to know. You need to know. Everyone out there wants to know, and it's something that you're going to just receive. You make a call, someone's going to answer the phone on the other side. You get what I'm saying? Right? So we're getting to that, and we're going to get to this in a moment. So we're no longer in a physical form. We have evolved past this eons ago, but here now, they're saying us, we as a species, if you want to call it that, use this medium to communicate. We hear your call to know more and to learn through this medium, channeler, about the things that are past your solar system, just further away from your solar system. The process is quite easy. He will explain in certain ways the process of channelings. The stories of old that you know are indeed accurate and confirm the way, regardless of which era you are in right now. Example, they're saying like the Rain Man, right? Not the movie, but this is one of the stories because he is one also a lot. Some past lives are also available to him or anyone that follows the path, but there are select few that have these gifts, the gifts of knowing in every era. So once in a while, there's come somebody that will just enlighten and give you a piece of the puzzle because I'm not just the only one. But since I have such a wide audience and I am well known by quite a lot of people, it's very easy for me to reach out to you. There's no attachments in that way, which is perfect. So I can just go out of my way to tell you things. Obviously, because I have this reach and I can reach out to you, they would absolutely want to be um, they want to use me as their patron to continue this messaging to you guys. There's nothing holding me back specifically from losing anything in the process. Except that then we're all gaining, and it's all right to be in this situation. It's fine to be in this scenario. Francis, why did you incarnate in this body? Why are you living under these circumstances? Why are you in this situation that you are now? So that I can give back, and I can give back to you without any filters of sort, because there's quite a lot to gain. And just think about what the opposite of that means, right? So, boy, I'm in a good mood today. So this is what they mean by this. Every once and always, there are always the shamans. There are always these, you know, people that have extraordinary gifts where they can look into their, a crystal ball, and they can tell you things about yourself and clear things about you and understand certain things and certain aspects of your life so that you can make yourself a lot better. Um, I always think of the Oracle in the series Vikings, where he tells the person what they need to hear, but gives them in a riddle or a rhyme. You know, the hawk will come and perch itself in the stake, and you will see this, and then you will know. And it's just like, well, what am I supposed to know? And at that moment, will I? What happens if I don't know? And the hawk is at the stake, and he's looking at me through the fence, and I can't figure it out, right? But still, eventually, to the moment where the person discovers and has the aha of realizing, well, this is what the person means. You get what I'm saying. You have to trust, and everything will happen. All right. So I asked them, "Do you want to elaborate or speak more about this?" And they said, "Yes, we will speak of this woman who you know who she is. Also created of also they want me to create a video of the process of the things that I've gone through for myself to achieve this." So for me, it feels redundant to have to go through this again and again and again. But that's the message that I'm getting. Just tell them, keep talking to them, keep talking to them, keep talking to them. I have a lot of deeper meaning understandings behind the things that I say. They make a lot of very perfect sense for me. But still, you can have all the ingredients, but if you don't know how to bake a cake, then you are going to not bake the cake regardless of what you have in front of you. All right? So, you have to clear your chakras. I've been saying that to you. And then chakras spin in a certain way. And you'd have to visualize yourself when you're listening to your chakra tone. What I do is I listen to singing bowls because I'm particular to a natural sound instead of something made electronically, which is fine, right? But still, a singing bowl that's tuned to a certain frequency, so you can do your chakras. You can buy a CD or get an MP3. The purer the sound, the better. So a CD or a WAV file or just any file that's not compressed. MP3 files are compressed, so you lose some of the quality of that sound, but still get something that's as pure as you can get it. You can always just rip your CD into the computer in the lossless format and hear the tone that way. Now you're going to listen to this. In my experience, you're going to listen to this for as much as you can or as long as you feel comfortable, which might be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes at first. You're going to move up through the chakras. Now, when you stop at the sacral chakras, as an example, start reading a book about what the sacral chakra. I know I had a book here somewhere, but you can look through and see what the sacral chakra is about. There are always 10 or 15 specific words you'd see that you read, and just kind of tune into the one that resonates with you. You've created a connection to where you are resonating in the chakra yourself, and then you can look out into the world as a refraction. And when you look at the world in the way as a refraction, you are then experiencing the experience of the chakra, and it's going to make manifest itself in the outside world. All right, let's see. Refraction. Um, right? So it's going to make itself relevant to you in the outside world, and you're going to live through the experience of that, right? So there it is. Yeah, exactly, right. So I'm going to post the refraction so you can just Google it and you see the images of what a refraction is. And I don't have to say it, but you do your homework. You look at this. Look at the refraction. See what a refraction is in physics, and it won't make sense. But you're tainting yourself with this orange chakra, right? Sacral, maybe I think, or yellow. I'm not sure. And you are then putting a filter through your world so you can see through this chakra, and you will be attuned in the frequency of this chakra, which will create an effect for your world on the outside. So you're thinking, how is this? This is just going to clear a lot of your. It's going to clear and purify that chakra for you, right? Maybe you need to be a little more courageous, right? Or you will feel that you are not courageous in whatever scenario you're in, and you're going to then get this chakra, feel its effects, and then just feel what it feels to be courageous, or maybe your heart chakra loving, right? Or going through just the whole process of, you know, understanding that feeling. Once you tune on, you know your chakras, and don't give yourself any set time frame. Don't think about January. You're going to be doing this or that, or what kind of progress you'll have then, right? Because for us, it's a little different. For everyone, it's a little different. We're all not on the same scale of attunement or ascension, but you made the call. You wanted to know more about what's going on in the world, and then all the when the student is ready, then comes the teacher to teach you things, right? So that's going to enlighten yourself. I'm trying to remember how it felt for me, because I'm already tuned into a frequency specifically, and again I refrain from saying too much, and I will know when there is in enough advanced group of individuals, right, that I can talk a little bit more, or maybe I'll throw in a few more minutes or so I can talk about these subjects that are just quite a little bit advanced, right? But in essence, this is what will happen. Your aura around you will increase and it'll widen. You'll feel lighter, right? You won't feel as heavy. And then your brain, your thinking tool, or your tool to help you navigate the world, isn't necessarily functioning as you would say. So you feel more like a marionette inside your shell, right? Your skin suit that you're wearing. And it's a very specific kind of detachment where you are in a light body, but still in the physical, dense world that we live in today. So that's just a way of saying, uh, there's this thing called a computer, and you type in words, and you go online, and you Google search, and you do all this and that. But still, though, you really won't know, and your experience would be very unique when you sit in front of the computer and then pick out the details and say, well, you know what, this is what he was talking about. This is just poof, It's your filter of the ways that you see the world and how you explain it. And I think I've been lucky enough to be able to tell you about this as free and openly and honest as I can. So let's go on to the next thing. Well, it goes to this, which I'm not gonna hold back. This woman thinks she's a Pleiadian, but she is Lyran. And in the Lyran world, in the Lyran War, many fled to other star systems, like the Pleiades. Others stayed to fight the war with the reptilians. We can speak of this matter now. We will assist. And then they went on to say, we hear you all. At all times, we know you want to know more about the things that happen outside your world. Let me be clear. Yes, we are with you always. We walk amongst you and live with you. The planet is moving like a vortex in the direction outside of darkness. That is your experience as a world, as a species, as an individual. Please speak of your methods and help them understand the process, which I've already done, which I want to get started with the chakras. Listen, guys, let me say this. I went through this process personally for myself, and I want to let every one of you know what I've been through, and what I did. Now, I did a lot of that process personally and quite a few years ago. So the next stepping stone for me wasn't until I started to feel more enlightened for myself, which is just in short, what I'm saying is, even though I did this whole process for myself, you begin to plateau, right? You begin to plateau, and you feel like you just won't make any success, and then your success, your your relative example, your relative experience of what success will be for you, because it's relative to you, you'll feel that you'll be more successful, or that you're ready to take on that next step, right? To ready to step up to the next level, where you will then again feel like you're just out of place, undiscoverable. The people around you are different, but you feel alone in the whole world, and you start figuring out, what is it that I need to do specifically. um like for me, it's just, now I feel like I need to be the cleanest person in the world and just have everything organized. For whatever reason, now I feel like I just want everything organized, and everything needs to be well kept. And I try as best as I can to do that for myself, but I'm being, relatively open to you about what my experience is. And it's just something that came up, and I thought about it, and it just feels right. It doesn't feel like you're hitting a brick wall when you have a thought like that, and you're thinking, oh, I'm pushing against something that I don't really want to do. Instead, it's open like somebody swinging a door open and say, well, come this way. Why don't you just do this? And personally, what's on the other side of that? I don't know. But nevertheless, it does feel like the experience I have to go through right now so that I can move on. And will I think back of this 2 years from now and think, well, I wonder what was that all about? It's more about your commitment to being faithful to the process, instead of wondering why every little single thing has to happen. If you look at a computer circuit board, every piece of the computer circuit board has a purpose. It's the opposite. It's just, here, trust yourself when you feel drawn to something or to someone in an experience, and then you can just go from there. It's not even about anything specific of what is this, being tidy has to do with anything. It's just you trust in the process, so that you can continue to something that really does and would matter for you, right? So this Lyran person has been told many times before that, even though you are from Lyra and you've landed in the Pleiades, or the Andromeda, or um, uh, any other planet, then you're rediscovering yourself. You're peeling back all this stuff, and it's not so much about accepting the channelings that are coming to you, but they're very private and they're very personal. I would suggest maybe journaling about these things, because when I do that, I feel that there's just a few sentences that pop into my head here and there. I look back and I read in them, and I think they're just gibberish, right? For an extent, or for a period of time, it doesn't feel like it really does make any sense specifically. But then again, we're moving forward. Things are going in the right direction. I'm actually very excited and happy. I did a lot of grounding work. I was outside, but I wasn't barefoot. So for me, that was just what I needed at the time, and I didn't feel any sort of resistance when I went out and do those kind of things, and it just made it feel better. Even though I think that around me the energy is very dense, and it's sort of why is it dense? It's dense because people's minds generate thoughts, and these thoughts can be negative or positive, and they attract these feelings or ideas or scenarios to them. Then they always sit back and wonder, why aren't they successful in certain things, or why they can't accomplish a certain thing, or why do they feel that they can't get past something, right? It's because you're making it for yourself. Now, in order for you to dig out of yourself of that hole, because the negative thoughts will always be there, you've grown this thing to become a negative wall of thickness that now you're just saying, okay, really, there's something there, and it's me, and it's just grew out of my mind, and it's not coming from my thoughts, and you think there's this barrier there, but you can slowly tear it down, you know. And negative thoughts for anybody are always going to be there. So you have to be careful about the things that you say to yourself and how you think about yourself in order to make yourself, as an individual, progress, right? Because sure, what if I am was feeling this kind of way and I needed to go out and go for a walk? Then that would automatically put me in a space where I can feel clear. The opposite of that is if you feel like you have this thing surrounding you, some people will just, they'll go inside, right? And I know you're not like that, but still, you feel like you're fighting against something, and it could just all be a test to see how much you're ready to go to the next step. So this lion individual, there's at 2 points of, there are in two parts here. Because I'm gonna just read back on what I wrote. The process is quite easy. We'll explain certain ways the process of channeling the story of old and you know about are indeed accurate and confirm the way, regardless of which era you are in right now. The process is quite easy. He will explain in certain ways the process of channeling. The story of all that you know about are indeed accurate and confirm the way, regardless of which era you are in right now. Then it says, for example, Rayman, like a shaman, the guy you go to and say, "Hey, we're not getting any crops here. We know you're special. What can we do about this? What do we need to do?" Regardless of the task that he tells you to do, it doesn't matter if he says go pick up sticks and build a campfire in the woods. You would do that. But then it's your own faith and the belief that you can do this that allows the rain to come so you can get crops. Now it's just words to you, but believe the shaman when he starts telling you things, and it'll be just as he said it would be. It will just happen that way. So the process is quite easy. He will explain in certain ways the process of channeling. The stories of old that you know are indeed accurate and confirm the way. The stories of old are all those writings before we have propaganda in the 21st century. People had to be completely honest in what they wrote because why would you want to have a fake, misleading cave drawing from 2,500 years ago? Who would plot out to do that purposefully unless it's some kind of scam for the 21st century? Either way, they're very accurate. They're very hold on. They're very they mean what they say when you read the books, right? When Muhammad says he saw Archangel Michael come up to him and talk to him and tell him certain things and started this religion, right? That's all factual. When you hear about genies, when you hear about dragons, when you hear about any sort of elves and unicorns, any writing that's details or speaks about these certain things in a certain way are indeed, to the most part, has a sense of truth in it because back then it wasn't in any way, good or didn't bring any sort of benefit to be dishonest in any certain way. So I guess we'll walk through this together. I like all the positive energy and thoughts that you guys bring out to me. It makes me feel great. Here I am one more time. There are a lot of Pleiadians and Andromedans that want to channel, and they want to say things to you guys, and this is one of them. These beings have not said who they were. They speak with force, they speak with energy, they speak with knowing. I actually go through my mind and I think, is it the council of, is it the Galactic Federation? Is it an individual? Right? Who can I pinpoint if it's a female or a male? Can I realize? Can I see where they are? Are they in a room? Are they looking in a certain machine to communicate with us? Um, But the way that they do speak to us, or anyone that's willing to do any of the channeling, give me 1 second. Hold on. All right. I'll get to the start in a second. Hang on a second. Okay, so yeah, just the first section is talking about the first part of this. It's saying how I'll read this one more time before I go. The first part says that you guys want to know more, which was the beginning of my video about how you want to hear something, you want to know what's going on in the solar system. The second part is about the shaman and just the people that are here to help, right? Their village or their country or whatever that may be. I asked if, do you want me to elaborate more about this? And then yes, they decided to speak about the woman Pleiadian and also to create a short video of the process that I've gone through to achieve this. So I did that. They talk about the Pleiadian, Lyran person. And then there's this final message where they say, we hear you all at all times. We know you want to know more about the things outside of your world. All right, so in Lyra, we were fighting the reptilians. I have a the past lives. Yeah, okay, yeah, the past lives is important too here as well. But I have a memory about that. How I remember how Lyra was. It was beautiful. You know, it was the colors were very. They weren't bright. They were opaque colors. They had all the rainbow colors. It had I think it had two suns, and you can rolling hills and caves where we slept in the caves and the rolling hills. So everything was cavern like already, right? Just as if you think of a cat species. And then I remember that me and my female companion and a boy or girl were standing there, and we were asked just to stand there and stand still, right? And I never told this to anyone. And then there's this huge white light came, and it's just about the size of whatever the size of that cave was. And to me, it felt like it just like it's like it snapped a picture, right? Like you're sitting there, someone says say cheese, and then it's just they for a split second it snapped our picture, and that's kind of all I remember it. And um, you know, the way I remember it is just as if I were floating on the ceiling and looking down at the scene as it happened. Even though I was standing here, you could, bilocate and still be looking at yourself and being here with me. Okay, so I know you're here with me now. That's pretty good. So then when there was a time where we could go, because the Lyra as a constellation has planets. The planet was Avion, similar to Avion, and it was. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it was great. It was pretty big. So the reptilians came in, and then they were being hostile. They wanted our resources, etc. They felt our energy, right? The resonance of that energy, because people can feed off your energy as well, and they wanted more of it for themselves to the point where it became violent. But anyway, lots of other lions like myself, some we stood behind, but you left with others to different solar systems, Pleiadians, Andromedans, and seeded these races because they still believe that their ancestors are still Lyrans, like there's still Lyrans left. Now, remember I speak a lot to you about, I know it's half an hour. Whenever I speak to you a lot about my sister, my Lyran sister, right? My family, right? My Lyran sister. Some Lyrans were able to go into the ether, take their physical form, and just completely vanish. And then you just can't stay physically here. You have to go to another level above where physicality is and just hang out there. And we promised that anywhere, whether it be Lyrans or any Lyrans descendants, that their ancestors will come and help them. So this is part of the reason why I'm here on Earth, to help protect the part of humanity that is Lyran at heart, which is probably all of humanity. All right? So that says a lot, and it's not difficult to understand why it's just so easy for me to speak about this, and it doesn't seem like I'm out of pocket here, right? And then you were at the Pleiades. You spent your time at the Pleiades. You spent your time at the Andromeda, and everything like that, and you evolved into your own species. But then again, these already inhabited planets just allowed us to integrate into their Pleiadian life forms, allowed an integration of the Pleiadian life form and the Andromeda life form, and it evolved because the evolution of a planet is directly connected to the space and distance from their sun, how many suns they have, how many moons they have. So this adaptation is equivalent to in which way the species evolves, what are their pluses, what are their minuses, what are the things that are good for them or about them that allow them to be unique for the Pleiadian, Andromedan, Arcturian star systems, and such and such and such. So they have formed indeed their unique species for themselves, even though their ancestors are still Lyrans, in their own physical trueness. Lyrans are still exist and they're still around, right? So that is just you as an individual, but still your soul that's still Lyran, even though you're in another body. I could be Pleiadian and live in the Pleiades like you for 100,000, 200,000 years. But when you move on, you can just choose to reincarnate again in a Pleiadian soul, in Pleiadian body, and it just happens to be what you're drawn to. But it's quite interesting to have your family call you back, right? And it's usually during times of stress when you sit back and you think, all right, what's going on? Like I'm going through a process for myself, you know, that is just bringing a lot out of me that it doesn't quite make sense, and it doesn't add up. But then your galactic family, whoever that may be, will come to your assistance. There's a part of this that is tied into the Anunnaki in one way or another, right? There's I like to call him Peter Ptah. He's Samius's dad. There's a whole family structure here with a proportionate misunderstanding of, the Anunnaki and also the Pleiadians and the Pleiadian, the I don't know, they're the leader of the Pleiadians in that sense. I don't want to get into any of that now, but the main focus of the channeling, I believe, it's just talking about this and then talking about the Pleiadian woman here, that's Lyran, and things like that, which is like your education, the things that maybe I can't think out for myself, and just teach or educate, and just put it into paper, get the channeling, put it out there for you, and let you guys, all of you, decide how is it that we're going to move along with this. So your questions have been answered. Here's a very quick channeling. Let me read it one more time. And they just don't go by any name specifically. There are a group of souls that have evolved. If we were all on this planet evolved as one, then really we will all think the same in a certain way, and we would then take on newer challenges as a group, which obviously Earth isn't at that moment at right now. So it's one and another, and then three, and then more and more people coalesce in this unit of people that think alike, and then we can start going in the right direction as a species. So I'm going to read this to you one more time. We're no longer in a physical form. We have evolved past this eons ago. But here now we are a species, if you want to call it that. Use this medium to communicate. We hear your call to know more and to learn through this medium. Excuse me. I put in their channeler. About the things that are past your solar system. The process is quite easy. He will explain in certain ways the process of channelings. The story of old you know about are indeed accurate and confirm the way, regardless of which era you are in right now. For example, Rain Man, Shaman, right? This one knows the stories because he is one also a lot. Some past lifetimes are also available to him or anyone that follows the path, but there are select few that have these gifts. The gift of knowing in every era. And then I asked, do you want to elaborate or speak more about this? And they said, yes, we will speak of this woman now who she thinks who she is. Also, create a video, the process you've gone through to achieve this. This woman thinks she is Pleiadian, but she's Lyran. In the Lyran Wars, many fled to other star systems, others stayed to fight the war with reptilians. You can speak of this matter now. We will assist. We hear you all at this time. We know you want to... Oh, come on. We hear you all at this time. We know you want to know more about the things that happen outside of your world. Let me be clear. Yes, we are with you always. We walk amongst you and live with you. The planet is moving like a vortex in the direction outside of darkness that you experience, as a world, as a species, and as an individual. Please speak of your methods and help them understand the process, which is what I did. I was at lost. I couldn't figure out why I would want to make any more videos. And there are quite a few beings that wanted to help by channeling. And this is just one of the ones that came in. And at the most perfect time, I pulled out my laptop. I was going to work on my tablet to do something to it. All of a sudden now, the channeling came in, and it just worked out the way it had to be. So I'm leaving you guys with this. Go ahead and, dissect it, read it, rewatch, understand. Open your mind up to the idea. And, be careful and protect yourself. If you feel this isn't right for you, there's no reason why you should continue. But if you resonate, then I'll watch you in the next video, and we can continue on a different topic or something else. And I rarely get these few channelings. I really appreciate it. I wish there could be more for us to understand. But I was given instructions to continue to teach, even the things that I felt that I've said again and again. And that's what I will do. I'd like to thank you guys for joining. I'd like to thank you for being here. And we will see each other next time.